Yes, I don't deserve this wonderful team.
What did you say, David?
David.
I said I don't deserve this wonderful team.
Oh my God! You and Quentin are the reason we have this wonderful team.
Nice, Caroline.
Yeah, but I'm really bad at uploading videos. I'm really bad at uploading videos.
Oh well then.
That's why we
David.
have
I think you're
co-managers.
fine.
That's why we share the load.
Okay, so Anna, you're new.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, I'm new.
Hi, nice to meet
You're paired
you.
up with Luke on the petition to change your name form.
Yes, that's right.
So have you guys, I just wanted to maybe check in, well, actually, sorry, I'm butting in, David. Over to you. We're doing stand-up.
Oh, I'm happy to, that's work for me.
Anna, is this your first meeting with us, or maybe I missed another meeting that you might have had?
No, this is the first one.
So I think that Quentin kind of briefly mentioned to me that you worked with, was it Neurologic?
Yeah, I've used Neota before on a couple of different things, but that's the extent of my experience.
Okay, no worries. So you're paired up with Luke, who's just graduated computer science. I did give Luke a bit of an onboarding tour. Have you had anything by way of onboarding?
Quentin gave me a little bit of information and I've tried to poke around, but that's about
Okay,
it.
perfect. So that's where we're at. I think offline what I'll do is I'll liaise with you guys regarding documentation, make sure that Luke's up to speed, and then make sure that you have the same access and same documentation. Do you have access to Acrobat? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So where are you guys at in terms of your form? Basically, this stand-up meeting is just to talk about kind of where we're all at with our different things. So I'm kind of putting you on the spot by making you go first. But
Well, so I think Luke was trying to, he just messaged me earlier, was converting the form into a Word document because of an issue with there being a dynamic field on one of the questions. And then we're going to figure out what to do from there.
so it was a PDF, and then you said dynamic field. Do you mind just elaborating what you mean by dynamic field?
So there's one of the questions, there's an option to put in, I think Quentin is the one who explained this to me, so if I'm understanding
I don't mind
correctly.
I can help rescue you. So actually, it's a good question to get other people's feedback on. So on the form, they did some fancy programming to let you add additional rows for the previous names that you've had, because you have to list every name you've ever had. I think the PDF, maybe you remember it, since you've been looking at it more closely, and it lets you add 3 names already?
It has 3 lines. I think it's not quite clear to put each old name on an individual line, but that's the extent of the options.
Okay. So one thing we could do is say, oh, well, this already lets you expand and contract the space on the form. We could turn it into a docx and then have it replicate that experience. Or we could keep it a PDF. Our version of the PDF won't be dynamic. It won't add extra rows. You'd have to go to an addendum to get those extra names.
Okay.
And docx files can be like a lot nicer for some things. This form is pretty heavily formatted, and so PDFs can be a little bit nicer for that kind of thing.
Right, I'm just recalling the problems that we had with notice of limited appearance, where we converted that from PDF to Word, and it caused a lot of issues down the line.
That's what I was remembering too.
Yep. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that we're not going to run into that same error. And then once this is always Michelle in the back of my mind, once we do reach the decision to record it on GitHub, I don't even know if you're that far yet with creating a GitHub repo and stuff. I did kind of point Luke in the direction of some resources, specifically the Teaching Tuesday that we had about that, which Michelle took us through. But yeah, just whatever decision we come to, it just must be recorded. So I'm just looking at the form now. Do
you want to share it maybe so everyone can see? Or we could put it on the Slack, whatever is better.
Also, just wanted to say, we do want to watch for the time when it is appropriate to sneak GitHub into there, because I know that was something people found really useful when they finally
Got it.
on
Right.
board.
That's why. So right at the bat. So thank goodness Luke actually has quite a lot of experience on GitHub from computer science. And I'm not too sure what your background with GitHub is yet.
Very limited.
Okay, that was like me coming in. I was terrified, but you got Luke, so you're fine, and you got all of us as well. Sorry, I've just lost the form now. Here, Massachusetts name change. Yeah, so basically, you want to kind of get GitHub up and running as soon as possible. What happened was a lot of previous team members were kind of communicating via Google Doc, which wasn't always the best. You can track the changes and stuff like that and track issues that came up. The issues are more like a to-do list, but that's explained in the video. So I think I need to update my Adobe. Yeah, I'm just going to drop the link in the chat. And somebody who has up-to-date Adobe can have a look at that.
Be clear about which chat.
The Zoom chat. Make sure that this is the right form that I was
So
looking
I'll look on Anne. And so it's like, which chat? Or maybe not.
Zoom chat.
Did I not say that? Was that in my head?
I don't know.
No, you said it.
Okay.
I thought he was asking again, and I was like, I'll just say it again. So, why not?
Okay.
I'll put the Latin version, because I know a lot of people are going to have problems opening this.
Here, I got it, guys.
You got it already, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the form, right? Anna, can you just give us some confirmation that Quentin?
Yeah, this is right.
Okay, perfect. So Quentin, the reason that I'm nervous about this is because it looks very similar to the notice of limited appeal form in that there's like lots of blocks and yeah, I just
On the other hand, though, like if we did convert it, even though there are a lot of, the problem is mostly like the blocks across this line, right? Most of them, like your address name, we wouldn't make that 3 boxes.
you can make it one line, right?
We'd make it 1 line.
Yeah.
And that's honestly how someone would fill it out on paper. They wouldn't even see the boxes, right? They would just see the space for me to put my name.
Yeah.
This would probably be the
And
only
then push
one.
it across.
Okay, maybe it's not the
So
end
as
of the
long
world.
as we can follow the vertical format of numbering and that can be consistent, then it might be okay. Like I wouldn't try to replicate the exact format, but we'd want to keep the caption. That would be easy to format. That's just like one table.
Can I, I mean, the other thing, I'm not sure, I did get in touch with Emily. I'm not putting any faith in it, but sometimes these forms start off as a Word document and then the court turns them into a PDF. Outside chance we could see if we could get the Word document from the court. I don't know.
I mean,
Forget I even
Oh,
said
I
that.
have
like
all
the
of,
live cycle. Oh, sorry.
I do have everything in Word. It's just through Turbo Law, so that comes back to that. Can you
Yeah,
use
we
the
had
Turbo
a
Law?
question about IP rights for the generation of we decided not to just use their word forms.
Yeah, it's
Well,
probably
you
a
see
violation.
how it works though, like when you type stuff in,
Yeah.
you just help us figure out like how they approach it.
Yeah, we can look at it.
The other issue that I remember discussing with PDF is that the court is sometimes used to receiving things in a certain format. Obviously not motions, that those change motion to motion, but like for this, would this be a form where they would be used to receiving and looking for certain things in certain places that might otherwise change?
Oh, you got it. Okay. The thing is, you can make the Word document ultimately to get a PDF. Make the Word document look like that.
Well, the reason you're making the Word document is you can do things that the PDF won't let you do, like get longer in places, in which case it will not look like the PDF.
Yeah.
Right, but the
Although
only
this PDF does allow you to make it longer. Because
that's the only thing that you would get an addendum.
So,
Yeah, and you can't do that without PDF.
so something I would like to raise to just remind us is that our MVP right now is do no harm and replicate the PDF, is like do the same as the PDF. Like that is the minimum.
But we can't do with a PDF what they're doing with the PDF.
Right. I'm not understanding the full context. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that was in our minds.
What about, because I'm just concerned about this extra kind of step of converting the PDF to Word, right? What about if we add like 3 names onto the PDF and use that, and then if they don't have extra 3 names, then that doesn't get filled in?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's a pretty good solution too. We didn't talk about, you're right, because the chances of someone having more than even 2 names is probably not that high. Or maybe you know something different, Kate. Or how many
No, this is a
paths people have.
self-selecting set of people who are changing their
Say,
names.
I've
There may
had
be
3
people who have
names.
already
My
changed
father's
their
had
names.
4 names if he were a woman.
4 names?
Married 4 times, right?
My
Yeah,
father,
marriages, like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
women can go through several, well, anyone can change their name
Anyone
at marriage,
can
but in
change.
particular,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is fairly common for women to have
Yeah.
several names in their lifetime.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course, men aren't changing their sentence. That was, yeah.
I'm just gonna count my mother's. Stoner, Ornston, Stoner, Galeepter, Gray.
It
4
should
names.
try to get more complicated as the marriages go on. Or like, okay, so
We
that
could
is a very
do
good
4,
point.
obviously.
We could, but that's like limiting the. I mean, my
So
grand.
No, but we still have an addendum once we get beyond 4.
Okay, what do we think about that, guys?
I think we have the format for addendum pretty well. like,
Also,
but-
You can't hear anything anymore.
We need Kate to weigh in on this, really.
Kate?
on what? What's the question? I couldn't hear.
should there be, is an addendum okay?
Yeah,
Of names.
Past
yeah, that's fine.
4.
So the big
I'll also point out
Maybe
there's a
better to
second form
go-
that needs to be filed with this, which I did also include, another extremely simple form.
The carry form,
The
right?
carry authorization, yeah.
I saw that.
So Kate, do you think it's okay to have a space on the PDF with enough spaces for 3 name changes, previous names, and then they're not there, they're there, but only one is filled in? If
And do a
you don't-
seat addendum.
So no, I mean, what I think the proposal is to have the name change form have spaces for 3 previous changes and reasons. And because we can't have a flexible PDF. So we'll produce one that has 3 there, and our users may only use 1, so there'll be 2 blank ones. If it's more than 3, it'll go to an addendum.
That seems fine, yeah.
There she goes.
What?
And if
Well,
that's
what do
the
you think
easiest
it would be?
technically, then
Yeah. I'm just trying to decide now, would it be more confusing, if we don't have every name over the first one go to the addendum? Because what people say, oh, they put it 3 times, why did they click it 1 more time? What do you think is, if they click the button to add 3 names, if the judge is used to seeing that, and then they wouldn't ever see the 4th name because they wouldn't flip to the addendum because they already see that they've added an extra name? Or is that
that's
not
the 3rd name is C addendum.
true? We could have it say C addendum.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the courts form just has this like click to add, click to add, click to add. That's interesting.
So part of me wants to say like, so I like this, but part of me wants to say like, if someone has 5 minutes and they can convert it easily into a Word form and it looks good, then that's a different question. Because I almost feel like we could have explored that option in this conversation time.
It wouldn't be 5 minutes though, David. It would be at least half an hour.
Then,
Yeah.
then the answer is no.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's weird.
The notice of a limited appearance, I just remember it took a long time to convert, and then even when it was converted, there was a number of issues. I do agree that it's different. This format is different because it's a lot of vertical stuff. It's not a lot of like horizontal tables and stuff.
Right. I think we have our action item. Add it's so there's 3. Go with an addendum, and make it clear when there is an addendum that it says C addendum.
Can we, and then can we make it be an issue for non-MVP ultimately?
Is there a repository for it already? We can put the issue on them.
There's already a Trello card for it, yeah. And I can add the extra, I can make space for 3 names and print it. That's an easy thing for me to do, print a PDF, which I know isn't as easy for everybody, depending on what software you have installed. So I'll attach that to the card, Anna. So that's for you, I guess.
And then Anna, basically
Right.
the next step is to label the PDF, or to make the kind of go through the form fields and label the PDF. And depending on your availability, I'll reach out offline and I can take you through that. Well, I can give you the documentation. You can try your hand at it, and if there's anything that you get confused or stuck with, you can then run it past me. And if I get stuck with anything in terms of like the actual legal aspect, I think we can run it past Kate. in terms of the label names, I think is what might cause issues, because what we've seen is that label names obviously have a big impact down the line. I'm specifically speaking from experience with my form, where we were just using plaintiff and user and attorney willy-nilly. Don't do that. So that's the plan of action for you. And obviously you can always, the advice that we give is to always reach out on channels, because you're more likely to get a response quicker. I mean, you ultimately will get a response if you message someone privately, but it might just take a little bit longer. And we're excited to have you on board.
Nice.
Yeah, welcome.
Me too.
Are you going to stick around for Casual Fridays here in 10 minutes?
I will stick around as long as I can. I have another call in a little bit, but.
Okay, cool.
That's when it goes crazy. We pull out Snap camera filters. And
we'll definitely spend like 30
Oh,
minutes.
I've been favoriting them all week.
oh,
My son got into our Zoom call the other day.
Hey, people. Hey.
Okay.
there's a
Not
channel
Friday
though. We'll drop links in
Yeah.
the Assembly Line Friday channel. So if you miss a Snap filter, hopefully Kate will drop them there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
The new
perfect.
version of Zoom allows me to move people around, and also you can say go to presenters. You can choose in the view. You can say follow host's view video order. So the entire problem of like, how are you looking at?
That's
So
great.
So we're all
So
being
Quint-
the same.
Is this Quentin for everybody?
No, you have to choose whether or not you want to follow the host
I just-
video order.
I might have
I
done
think I
it.
need to update my
Okay.
Zoom.
But everyone
I
just
had Maeve
have screens
up in the top, and so actually, you know what? I'm going to move Hannah because she was.
Okay, all right. How about we do this on Casual
Hannah's on Maeve.
Casual Friday?
I'm telling you, you can if you want to go up there and play around with that, you can play around.
Sure.
But Maeve is next on my.
So yeah, so we're still waiting for a reply from Ben. I don't know if anybody wants to if we want to do like a demo of my. Dave's not speaking to us. If we want to do a demo of my form, I think it'll take. Okay, thanks, Quentin.
Is he talking to us?
No, I don't think so. It's okay.
No, I'm having to. Today's picture day at the school, so I'm gonna have to go take Noah during Casual Friday.
So basically our form runs, and if anyone, I think I agree with having maybe one person just having a look at it while we wait for Ben, the kind of SME, to come back and say it's fine. So, and I'm not sure if we even need to be on that call. If I can maybe just drop the link in the assembly line and somebody can just run through the interview. It's very quick. There's two paths. You can either be an attorney or you can be a plaintiff. A plaintiff is a shorter path. Attorney just have to fill in some extra questions about your name and stuff. And there's some conditional language that we're very proud of. So you can see that change. So I'll drop that over in the channel, and if anybody can just have a look at it and give it a thumbs up to say looks good. We're waiting for Ben to get back on the SME thing, but I don't think that should be a stopper, because he said he'll look at it. There's nothing, we kind of talked about the flow. It's not a very complicated form. And then Lance and I are just going to continue working on our informal testing. And then it's ready for release.
Is there,
it's ready to go to court.
I forget. And it we're ready to record. And it allows an upload, or it doesn't. I can't remember where that landed.
We haven't put that in yet. I think that's very.
Okay, so not MVP. Yeah, okay. I just trying to remember where the feature cutoff was.
Yeah, no. So the next features that we'll add is the addition of a PDF or a Word document to be filed with the cover sheet, and then also creating the object so that people can easily put in the track designation, as opposed to right now they just have to refer to the other PDF like they would have done in real life. And Jody and I are meeting this week to finalize meeting this weekend. It's Jody's birthday next Tuesday, just FYI. Not today.
Oh,
David
it's
just.
also my son's birthday.
It's also.
Yeah, that's what my son's birthday is too.
I was gonna say yours is October, Quentin. What are you talking about?
Fine.
Okay, 30th. So it's Quentin's son's birthday and Jody's birthday. So we're meeting this weekend to kind of
Quentin
go.
has two sons.
Henry or
29th. Sorry, isn't Tuesday the 29th? Doesn't matter.
no, she hers on the
What are you
30th.
talking about?
Especially since it's been a little weird.
29th is Tuesday.
No, this is the Wednesday. It's 30th. So which son is on Tuesday?
My older one.
Okay.
In case it's important.
Anyway,
Miles, it's Miles.
Derailing things. It's Miles. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Jody and I are going to
All right.
finalize the trailer stuff for the volunteers and hand it over next week or whenever David and Quentin have time. Okay, that's
Cool.
me.
All right. Good thing. Okay. Kate. Kate. Oh, Abigail says Kate. My daughter says Renee.
Not too. Caroline and I met yesterday about 209A stuff. I think that's pretty much it. It's looking good.
Q&A stuff was it's going well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, we're gonna make a revolutionary change, which I think Quentin suggested on Slack somewhere, and so we may not be ready for Tuesday because it took a while for Kate and me to find time to meet. I didn't really want to do anything until I talked to her, and then I got not derailed, but eviction moratorium took a little bit of precedence over that. So I'm going to try and basically I put together something that I can show you if you want to see what we're going to do. And it looks really different. It's not ideal, but I think the courts will be happy with it. And I think that's what right now, that's what we're going to try and do. So do you want to see it, or do you want to we'll keep going and then you'll see it when we demo?
If that's Kate, you're done?
I'm done. Yeah.
I'm just going to move, Caroline, I'm going to move you to the next square, and then why don't you make this part of yours?
Okay, so, oh God, I didn't bring my mouse in here. Okay, oh wait, I have to share my screen, right? Wait a minute, sorry, I'm not really adept with this. Okay, share screen, and, oh, I gotta share it. Okay.
Okay, so this is the revolutionary change.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. You know what? Go to somebody else because I'm not so good with Zoom and sharing screen. So if you go to somebody else, and then I'll come back and show you what we've done. Because
Okay.
I had it up and then I had too many windows open. So can you do somebody else, and then I'll be trying to figure out how to get the right screen up. Is that okay?
It's okay for me. Quentin?
David,
David?
talking was muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Yes, Michelle can go next. Helps if I
Sure.
mute.
So Mariah can also
Yeah, I was gonna
chime in
say,
on the moratorium update.
It's like 30 out or something. It's
I
freezing.
can't hear anything all of a sudden, but the moratorium has been, I think it has like one thing left at this point, which is the next step.
Let's just tell Caroline she can unshare her screen now. She doesn't want us to record.
Oh, I'm
every time
sorry.
she's
Yeah,
sharing.
sorry.
There you go.
The testing cannot examine PDFs or download PDFs yet, but I'm going to try implementing what there is on the eviction moratorium because I've already written.
Issue, which is crazy because what is that?
Who is saying that?
It sounds like me, but I'm not talking.
Like,
Someone must be playing a video.
Oh.
Someone is playing the video.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds like a video.
my YouTube something channel.
Oh, okay, now it makes sense.
Sorry.
yeah, that makes sense.
How
So
did you
I've
guys
written-
hear
It was
that?
you.
That's so weird.
That was very weird because it was me. I was going, that's my voice. I'm not talking.
Very strange.
Okay,
All
sorry.
right,
carry on.
Michelle, I'm sorry.
No, we're in the twilight zone. It's okay. So I've been writing. I think I've got 3 or 4 tests written so far for the eviction moratorium, as far as making sure that grammar is correct on pages and screens should appear where they are and stuff like that. So now that I have admin access, thank you, David, I will put the secrets. It's just a really funny way to say it, on the eviction repo, and then we can push the automated testing and have automated testing test some stuff for us as we continue to develop. So
That's good.
Super
I
cool.
love automated testing.
I suggest
right, so exciting.
No, that's really cool.
So other than that, yes, I do wish like there were a bit more time for testing. I've tried to be very thorough every step of the way to run tests. So I'm hoping that that is sufficient for what we need. And if folks want to run it through some paces, I have some suggested tests, but we really shortened the SMS messages so that the URL has the best chance it can possibly have to remain whole and compromised. Trying to think if there's other stuff. I think the next steps, Mariah, do you have stuff about that?
No, it's just the last test, right? And then we can get it out.
We need to just double check the instructions, right? The language and the instructions. Right.
And make the buttons for the instructions. So I need to
Yes.
talk to both of you after this and get Quentin's whatever's on the download versus viewing, if there's something to put in the link on for downloading versus viewing.
Well, cool. Sounds like it's coming.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, since that sort of dovetails nicely, I guess Mariah, have anything you want to add, or? All right, Caroline, are you ready for us to come back your way? All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, so minimize these guys and run. Okay, so the problem is that we were writing sentences for people, even with dates and names and stuff. So now we just dive right in. Some of this language is going to change, but people just describe their incident. So I'm just going to put my own words for incident that include date, time, location. Okay. And actually this language is going to say the first time you look at this, it's going to say the court form says on or about date and time, bad Bob, something or other. Finish the sentence and go on and describe your thing. The next time it comes around, they'll just do the incident with reminders. But the thing that we're doing is we're saying, if you're a regular user, people are going to see the reminders right away. If you're an advocate, you can skip the reminders. And the reminders are this, and this is sort of what Quentin was talking about, is did you include anything about if children were present, if anybody was injured, did anybody need medical or dental treatment, was there any property damage? I didn't add anything about any pets being harmed and the police being involved. And so then, and we don't, this isn't in the thing, but the point is that if you say any of these things, if you say you didn't include any of these things, actually, then you get asked, do you want to add anything, right? And so you have to affirmatively say, you have to answer all of these if you ask for a reminder. So do you want to add anything? If you say yes, you can say yes, I can say no, I can say yes, I can say no. Do you want to add anything? And then we'll also, we'll add some extra helping language about the issue around the police. We can do that. But it was really this format. And we were choosing between radio buttons and check boxes. We went with radio buttons. And what I would like to do.
Is that just for like readability reasons, Caroline? Is that why?
Kate picked it.
I thought it would be, I'm open to disagreement. I thought it would be better because it forces people to engage with each one rather than just letting them kind of skim by and maybe miss pets, which is embedded in there.
That's
so we probably could force check boxes as well. Well, the problem with check boxes is, did you include, we can play around with that, but the idea is to have all the reminders on one page, and then, do you want to do something about that? And this was my attempt. I know somebody's done something with, this was my just little horizontal line, because otherwise you get this great big long list, which is really confusing. So I wanted to have something, and that's a placeholder for separating.
And I feel like there's a line like that in like the child support affidavit. That's like a nice line.
That's
I don't know,
separates
I might be
across
wrong.
the whole.
I can give you a
nice line.
Yeah.
Horizontal rule, and you can see what you think of it.
In between fields, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would just be a note, right?
A note.
You make a note and then you put a.
That's it. This is a note, but I probably just need HTML, right?
There. That's your HTML.
I was wondering, because you can just put that in the note.
You can put HTML. Any place you can put Markdown, you could put regular HTML.
So I could just put. like that.
The slash goes at the end. This is
the one I put in your.
Like an image. Yeah, I should know this. I've been doing it. So that's children present. Okay.
So that's cool. The one thing is I might want to play around with the language a little bit for the prompt coming in.
This isn't like, this was just.
Oh, no, I meant for calling it reminders. I'm not sure reminders is the right frame.
Okay.
So I know you're going to change all the, but something that
Oh, that's nice.
Hi,
That's
Keisha.
really nice.
I haven't met Keisha either.
The new line is really
The
nice.
horizontal line.
Can we make this darker?
That's CSS. So I mean, I can hang on. I'll work up some HTML.
Okay. Okay. Because I think if we do that, it's much clearer.
Yeah, I like that.
I agree with you about the reminders.
Yeah, no, it's fine as a placeholder, but obviously if we're trying to, remember, we're trying to respond to the court's impression that there's too much guidance.
Yeah.
So we want to try to, I don't know exactly what the solution to that
is. We know what we're saying when you do your affidavit. You want to include as many details as possible. Maybe we could call it about details.
Like explore details, or I mean, I know that's going to sound a little weird, but
Here's one thing which is, it kind of counteracts the yes no radio, but you can still keep it radio buttons. I mean, just like that's a common thing, like when you do TurboTax, right? It does like a checklist, check for errors or check for. I don't think we want to call them errors because that still is leading as the old thing. But
I like the idea for like explore details or
final checklist, final review, something where if like, do you want us to help you make sure you included the details you needed? I mean, I guess just go into the definition, but
I like review.
That might be helpful. Detailed review or review.
Right, because then it doesn't sound like we're prompting things. We're just going over what they've already written with them, with 12 detailed suggestions of things they should add.
You should consider.
Check your details. How about that?
Something like that, with the right spirit.
What about final checklist?
What did you say, Quentin?
Final checklist or final review? Or, I mean, final maybe not the right word.
I don't want to say final.
Review your affidavit.
I like review your affidavit.
Except your
maybe on that screen, we could have a prompt that says, on the screen that has the yes no radio button series, we could have a big top one that says, okay, make sure you included everything that you wanted to. Do you want some
hints?
Want to see our checklist of things you should include?
Or maybe common. Do you want to see a list of common details?
Common affidavit topics.
Common things to check. Show our common. I'm not adding.
Did you include? So this one will say.
But maybe having it be on the same screen, and you can always show them this review.
Yeah.
And then show them the series of yes no buttons only if they make them have to affirmatively choose them.
This is the one that we want to. This is the one we want to. What I tried to do, and maybe this is me. What I wanted to do was actually in the screen before. So down here, what I was playing with is I wanted to have people put their affidavit in here, and then have two buttons to say. Essentially, the buttons were going to be, do you want to keep going or do you want to see a list of, one button would take you, not take you, it would skip this screen and it would go right there. See what I mean? You wouldn't have that intermediate screen.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out how to do the two buttons that would go two different directions.
There is a way to do it. Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
You can show buttons and have one of the buttons have an action of continue.
Yeah, I was,
Or-
so they both continue, right?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So one goes to one button would go to one place and the other button would go to the other place. Because I was trying to get it together to show Kate yesterday morning and I couldn't figure out how to do it. But ideally, that's what I want. I think it makes sense. So you don't have this basically this whole thing here with different language would be at the bottom of would be underneath this field, and those two see reminders, skip reminders, except it wouldn't be reminders. Those buttons would be with continue button.
Well,
Make that work,
I don't
though.
think we could do that, but what if you can put continue, Caroline? I don't think there is a way to combine a continue button with other fields on the screen that says something different. Two buttons.
Can you? So you can't have two buttons that go two different directions.
Not if there's also a field on the screen.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, that's what I. When I looked at the documentation, that's what I came up with. But I never believed that I'm right when I
There's
see.
a lot to read through, but yeah, at least I haven't found one.
What if you did it?
Continue.
What if you had a question that asked whether or not you want to do details, so like a drop down or something, and then continued on that, it displayed a different screen as the next screen is either the detail screen or the.
Yeah, so you'd have a radio button or a
Oh, like a
checkbox
mandatory
here, a
radio.
field, and then depending on, it would be an extra click, but at least it wouldn't be an extra screen.
Yeah. So
One
next
more-
one, so you.
Thought is like, do we have a list of before they get here of things that they say they're going to include or something?
Yeah, we do. We
Okay.
do. Yeah. So we have 3 screens that tell them how to write an affidavit.
Okay.
I mean, and actually the other thing that about David, that adding that extra field with a question is because I was rushing, but what we want is a continue and a help button. And the help button is how descriptive should I be? And that links you to Mass Legal Help because that means this isn't so long. See, sources cap.
Yeah, so you could easily do the. Yeah, so you could combine those. You could have the help button, and then you could have either a checkbox, do extra, helping with review or however we want to phrase it.
Can I suggest we take one moment aside and just say hi to Keisha, who arrived a little
I
while.
was gonna say that, guys.
Keisha's here for
Casual Friday.
Keisha's here for Casual Friday. She's one of our students.
To be
Sure.
honest,
It's not quite casual
Friday,
yet. I just
and this
wanted
is
to
not that
acknowledge your
casual.
presence.
Yeah, we're not casual yet. We're gonna get there.
And I also know that Anna, you said you had to jump off on another call. So please, if you do have to jump off, you don't feel like you have to stick around. We would love to have you for Casual Friday. But I know that awkwardness of like, can I jump off? I don't know.
Keisha, Michael wanted to be here, but he's stuck doing other stuff, unfortunately.
Michael Cronin.
No,
Carol.
Michael Carroll, who was here last week.
Right.
He was the new person in Keisha's Square last week.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier today. We were working on some things together, so he told me he was devastated.
Aw.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
back to this.
Let's see if we can-
Listen to this.
So I think then we can maybe put a pin in this for our discussion today. I think directions to go, and the spirit we're trying to get at with how we're trying to make it flow for the court.
Sure. So anyway,
then
that's where we are with that, and we do link to Mass Legal Help. We don't put any. And the other thing that we did, but I didn't show you, is that we also ask about a pattern of abuse. We have a pattern of abuse question because that a bunch of advocates thought that was really So we've got that in, and we also have the option. I told you, if advocates are doing it, they can just skip the reminders altogether. Although we do believe that advocates ought to see the reminders.
I do feel like better work product would be produced in the end. But,
It just reminds me of you know Stephanie, Caroline, but anyway, they're trying to use the TRO form that we built, and just like, there's not enough room for me to type in
Stephanie
she wants to put a
Belandis.
whole legal memo in there. So I think actually I'm going to add that option. Why not? It's going to be
Attach a legal memo.
Attach a memo to the housing TRO form. So
For people like Stephanie.
people like Stephanie.
Well, this is the other thing is Mariah is going to, I think, she's gone. But I think Mariah is going to work with Stephanie and Molly on Kendall's mediation, negotiating a settlement.
Great.
thing. Yeah.
That was kind of nagging at me. I was like, oh, I should, but I'm glad that, yeah, Mariah will be great to finish that
Yeah,
up. So.
because she's really good at that kind of stuff.
I don't think I've ever put this as an issue in GitHub, but can we do like an attach exhibits to the 209A affidavit?
That just came up on my call in Washington last night. I was going to ask you about that. I forgot.
Because you're allowed to, and it's just like so hard. Because without the in-person hearings, people are having such a hard time getting like.
Good point.
You would normally bring the police report to court, but right now this is like the only way to get stuff in. Is like.
Quentin,
you're allowed to. It's fine.
Can we put that in the version 2? And Quentin, can I just ask you to add that?
I think so. Yeah, there's like a couple of usability things to think about, but I think probably we just would have a repeated question like add next page, because people won't have a PDF always, right? They'll probably want to be taking pictures with their phone page of their evidence.
That's probably what
It'll
most
be a little awkward,
people
but
have, yeah.
I think we can do it though.
Can I just have one more question I keep forgetting to ask? Is it possible to move the defendant's picture to after you ask all the questions about what the defendant looks like? I just think sensibly it makes,
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I just wanted your okay on it. Not, I mean, I know technically it's possible, but I thought.
No, that's what I meant. I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't think I even remember why we put it there. So you probably need my help to move it, right?
I just want to move it. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you, Kate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just made an issue about the exhibits and assigned Quentin to it.
Oh, perfect.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Anytime.
Which is a perfect segue to Quentin now being the last person on my screen for stand-up, so he can tell us what he's doing and then lead us into Casual Fridays.
Oh,
What was the Washington call?
That's a lot of pressure.
Ooh,
You can hand off Casual Friday. If that's the pressure, you can hand it off to someone else.
So David and I have been having various conversations, and we're trying to think about blockers. We had talked about that a little bit in our workflow. We talked about that a little bit on Tuesday. One great thing is now we have 3 forms on our website that were not up before because they were in limbo with the court. So now those are live with the send to court button removed. So that's great. 3 of the forms students worked on over the summer are live. And we're trying to think of ways to improve our process with the court. I dropped a thread on Slack about that to get some ideas about how to collect feedback in a way that we can get just the things that we really have to act on, help them understand what our goals are with MVP released versus things we're going to keep working on improving, so they don't feel like everything that they tell us has to be acted on before it's ready to go. So we're hoping to basically improve that process with the court for getting stuff out. I'm thinking I also will probably have to spend some more time just going through and finishing up some forms, because I think that might be the most efficient way. We want to make sure we have another batch of forms that we've sent to the court.
Also want to identify some new forms for students who are coming online as working on stuff for final projects.
Yeah, that's something. It's always a struggle, and I don't think it should be. I think part of the problem is like our list is clogged up with all these forms that I don't think are a very good fit anymore, that probably the court doesn't even care about as much as they did when they first assigned them to us, because we were expecting certain things from the pandemic that, we don't need the DNRs and stuff that they had us on our list. And that's like half of the forms are that kind of really serious life or death forms that I don't think we have to focus on automating.
So you've done the health.
Michelle, were you raising your hand?
I was for a related, sort of related. There's some skills that we're missing, like Google script magic and other things we might be interested in, like design or whatever. And there's a site called Democracy Lab that I've heard some really good things about. And I know one of the people there, which won't mean I will get more than anyone else. I'm just saying, like, it is, I believe, reliable. So is it okay if I post some things on there? Just, post I may have to run our project profile by you guys, but I can try starting to set that up.
Yeah, so it's just like a crowdsourcing for volunteers for civil.
It's putting out it's putting out your project and saying we need volunteers in these specific areas, and they actually sometimes kind of take a personal hand in and introduce you, and like it's more like send an
Yeah,
email.
that sounds good. If you draft something up and run it by us, that's cool. I like the idea of more volunteers.
If you all are okay with it, then I may give it a shot over the weekend, or well,
We
yeah, I'll
definitely do have
run the
some.
profile by you before I
Yeah.
do that. But yeah,
Yeah, 'cause we definitely do have some needs that it would be nice to have.
yeah.
All right, Quentin, do you have any more? Or did you think you were going to go away from starting us on Casual Friday?
Wait, Caroline had something. You were about to say something, Caroline, before I interrupted about Quentin's something? No. Okay.
Can I say a non-casual Friday thing? Just when I was like flipping through the GitHub issues, I did notice like people seeking legal help in there.
That's what I was just about to, that was what I was going to mention. Go ahead, Kate.
No, that's pretty much what there was like somebody looking for help on their utility bill.
Right. So our forms, I guess we could check, but our Google form that gives people, once they fill in the feedback, that might be something we might want to think about is because those forms know what interview people are taking that they're giving feedback on.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I thought gotcha.
We already have the link we already have a link for finding folks on there, don't we?
We have in the introductory page, there are links for finding other resources. If you say, I want other kinds of help, those links are repeated. If we want, we can also repeat that on a page for all the, all right. It was
Anna. This is why I was trying to move us in the casual.
Sorry.
Done.
Bye, Anna. It's really fun when you, yeah.
Okay. Well, so we can add that same text on the final page for everybody if we want, but the information with more legal resources are there.
No, so my question.
Yeah.
I guess I was hoping that the specific interview would go into the feedback form, and then the feedback form could give people specific resources for their issue. Yeah. But you're saying that doesn't.
No, but we could put specific resources on the form itself.
Yeah. I want to just caution against turning we can take the resource form and turn it into something that points people to resource finders, but we don't need to create a new resource finder out of our form. And I think the reality is no matter how many times we say, don't ask for something here, if there's a free text field, we're gonna get them.
We're already putting the more help ones automatically.
Yeah. That being said, can we move to Casual Friday? And as I say that, I'm going to have to leave you to do Casual Friday by yourselves because I have to go take my son to get a picture. I was hoping Casual Friday would have started 20 minutes ago, but
David. All right.
I'm not the one who kept Casual Friday.
Sorry.
I'm going to stop recording,
guys. Stop recording.